told y'all fuckers I was going live, right? I'm gonna have to wait though. Facebook doesn't know that I'm going live, so thankfully I got a title for this thing already. A little title. Thought it counted out, you know. But let's set this shit up on Facebook, yo, before we start getting down on these disturbing topics that nobody wants to talk about. Yet everybody has in the back of their mind. Well, not everybody, but most people. Most people have in the back of their mind, unless they haven't thoughts of suicide or some other shit, but, you know. Let's go live. Let's go live, and we are live. Are we live on Facebook? Yeah, we is live on Facebook, alright? And the title, let me let this thing load, and the title of this video, let me see if I got it down here. The title of this video is, let me check my emails so I can read it out for you guys. Alright? Might not be something that a lot of y'all want to hear. Right? The title of this video is Lack of Moral Rightness Leads Mankind's Perverted Mindset Towards Bestiality, Pedophilia, Homosexuality, and a host of other senseless shit that follows it. Alright? Now, this video is for those that desire to understand, not for those living in the pleasure and comfort of their own ignorance. So watch at your discretion. And just so you know, I'm still learning, I'm still growing from these things, you know? And before I even start, I'm gonna read a short passage from this book called Law and Liberty. Law and Liberty. I suggest that you all get it, you know? And we go to chapter 25. We go to chapter 24, where it goes to customs and morality, right? Customs and morality, it states that custom or social more govern us often much more strongly than does morality. So, you know, the norms of the society will most of the time will govern the individual's moral conduct more than the moral conduct will govern his customs. And that's the problem with our society. We're more governed by customs than we are by moral rightness. We're more governed by opinions, ideas, and dogmas than we are by moral rightness. But it goes on, all right? It goes, most people are more afraid of offending their friend through bad taste than of offending God by sin. Girls who think nothing of disobeying God and their parents will actually weep over the thought of facing their friends with an old dress. Now, this is a small example, and we can relate it to a post that I shared not too long ago where, you know, your family will disown the individual that identifies as gay or homosexual, but they won't talk about, you know, the family pedophile, the child predator in the family. They'll completely ignore that, and they'll act as if it's not even there. They'll probably just fucking turn a blind eye to it, act as if it's not even there. All right. It goes on. There is an old story of a girl a few years ago who, facing the possibility of a code and working in a draft. All right, let's skip that. But you know, it goes on to the end of it, which is what I really I want to touch on. You know, because it relates to what we're going to talk about today. You know, customs, mores, and are merely conventions of people. We create this shit. You know. That's why one of my great mentors, long gone but still teaching from the beyond, Miles Monroe, said, you know, if you obey man's law, you are ensuring your failure. But if you obey God's law, the Most High inside of you, you are destined for success. All right. So it goes. Let's go back. It goes. The conventional people treat all subversive movements the same way. They are always certain the communists, like Jesus, mean exactly what an sensible convention person thinks. They no more take the communists at their terms, and they take Jesus Christ at his terms. Whatever the communists said yesterday has no meaning today. The communists mean those individuals, you know, that agree with man's order. Man's order being, do as thou will, rather as doing as the Most High wills in us all. All right. The reason, of course, is this: the conventional people, having substituted appearance for reality, we chose customs over moral conduct. Customs over moral order, again, cannot face reality in any direction. So when we fall in love with opinions and things like that rather than with truth, it always hurts us and it always bothers us when somebody comes at us with truth. All right, nothing else is real for them. All people are exactly like themselves, or they are mentally sick. Conventional people are only blind in the sense that they are self-consciously, deliberately, and passionately adverse to facing reality. A lot of the or the three topics that I'm gonna touch on today, they are topics that a lot of people don't want to hear the answers to. They are comfortable, playing the ignorant card, playing the I don't know, playing into whatever it is that society wants. Rather than telling their sons and daughters, or trying to understand their sons and daughters to try to better explain what they're going through, people would rather ignore it. They rather ostracize that individual, shun him, push him away, come up with all sorts of names and labels for that individual and destroy that person's character, their personality, their spirit, by just ignoring them rather than, loving them as they are and trying to understand them so that you can better help them. Because just because you love somebody doesn't mean you have to accept their bullshit. All right. Now, if you're a female in a fucked up relationship, just because you love that person doesn't mean stay in that relationship. So just because you love your loved one doesn't mean you have to accept all their bullshit. But when you love them, you open the doors to understanding that person. You open the doors to being more compassionate, more trustworthy, less judgmental, and more just in your judgment. All right. This passage ends like this: those that deny, those that go with customs rather than moral rightness, they are like the people of whom Isaiah spoke, who hearing will not hear and seeing will not see, lest their minds understand and their health be restored. The destiny of such people is then to be blinded by God and led to destruction. Their nature and destiny is death. Our nature and destiny in Jesus Christ is righteousness and life. Christ being that creative, that righteous, that right part in you that it says kill that person, and you're not gonna do it because your conscience won't let you do something wrong, regardless, despite what everything around you is telling you. You go against the grain. You're not with the shits if the shits ain't with the Lord, with the Most High. With right, with loving thy neighbor and loving each other as we want to love, or as we love ourselves, and doing unto others. So, and saying so, I'm bringing this message with the blessing and the guidance of the Most High. And so to Him we give, all that we have. We give gratitude and appreciation and homage for this moment, and in that I'm a light this blunt too, to kind of relax the energies and everything. But this video, I'm making this video in regards to bestiality, homosexuality, and pedophilia, because I have nephews and I have nieces, and I speak to them, and they know the things that I do. They know everything that I'm into. I talk to them. I'm open with them so that they can understand themselves a little better, because when I'm open with them, I understand myself a little better. So check it. The first one, we know what the fuck it is. Bestiality, right? It's fucking sex with a fucking animal. All right. And that's not something that people are comfortable talking about. That shit is just fucking, we think is nasty, right? It kind of is fucking nasty. That's you're disrespecting your temple, right? That's first and foremost. You're disrespecting your temple. You're lowering yourself, all right? First of all, you're a man. You're mankind. Your consciousness become flesh, all right? You are conscious, self-conscious, and can become conscious of yourself, very conscious of yourself. And in doing so, you can achieve many more things. when it comes to bestiality, what do I know about bestiality? I will tell you this: I never engaged in it. However, you know, looking back at my life, you know, and in my family and in people that I've seen, it has happened. And you know, those individuals, we hear those stories because they were caught. I never engaged in it, but I had the opportunity to. And the only reason I can talk about it now is because I'm aware that when that happened, I didn't have the awareness that I have now. All right, I was born in Puerto Rico in 1990. All right, just recently I found out that my mother, while she was pregnant with me, like went through 9 full robberies, right, while she was pregnant with me, and actually ended up breaking the I ended up, like, you know, she ended up breaking whatever the fuck that shit's called, literally on the ninth the ninth hijack, whatever the fuck is called, robbery at the restaurant that she worked in Puerto Rico. But at the ninth one, she ended up breaking water because one of the dudes that, you know, that was into her at the time got shot, literally got shot in the fucking dome piece, and boom, like, it's a crazy story, right? I likely saw my first murder when I was like one or a few months old. I remember the body, the blood, and so I moved to Dominican Republic at around 3 years old, one, maybe two, 3 years old. And when I moved to Dominican Republic, you know, we always saw dogs. We saw dogs fucking. We used to fuck around with the dogs when they was fucking. We used to pull their tails. We used to throw rocks at them. We used to beat them with the sticks. We was fucked up little kids. But around the age of 3, it must have been 3, because I wasn't even fucking walking and running, like, you know, or talking. But one day I found myself eating, and nobody was in the kitchen with me, and a dog walked in. And I was like, huh. And it was a female dog. All right, so she walks in, boom. I give her food, and I start fucking trying to do what the fuck I see the animals doing. All right, this is fucked up, right? I'm 30, so this is 27 years ago. And as I'm about to do what I was thinking about doing, my consciousness was like, and it's beautiful because the dog kept moving around, and I'm over here like a 3-year-old. This fucking disgusting. I'm laughing now, but it's, you know, I hope that you laugh at this, because, you know, we should laugh at the stupidity that we do. You know, it's fucking ignorance, and it causes hurt. But at 3 years old, my consciousness was like, whoa, what are you doing? You know, this is kind of like the dead man that you saw not too long ago. You know, this is wrong. You shouldn't do this. So my consciousness right there at 3 years old, I recognized that bestiality was wrong. You know, because your consciousness is always guiding you in the right direction. However, each and every one of us as individuals has the right to choose what the fuck we do with our life, all right? And so we move later. Well, let's stay there a little bit, you know, because one of my cousins ended up getting caught hitting it with a chicken. And that kind of always followed him. Okay? Let me move this around. That kind of always followed my cousin. You know, he didn't go to school. He never finished school. And I'm pretty sure that the reason he never finished school was probably because of the fact that everywhere he went, they used to call him a what? A chicken fucker. Now, it's crazy because now talking about it to you guys, you know, I can think and instead of, like, everybody in my family calls that cousin of ours just stupid because he never finished school, we never took it into consideration that the fact that we gave him a fucked up nickname over some bullshit that he did, not knowing what the fuck he was doing. You know, rather than somebody grabbing him up, sitting him down and talking to him, they gave him a bullshit ass fucking nickname. And, you know, if my dumb ass would have got caught at 3 years old doing that, I would have gotten called a dog fucker. Because you can build 1,000 bridges, but if you fuck one goat, you'll forever be known as a fucking goat fucker. So thank God I never did that shit, and thank God that no fucking jackass with, with an ignorant mindset even saw me doing or even attempting to fucking ignorantly do what my dumb ass was trying to do at 3 years old. All right? And there's a lot of stories, of people fucking animals because they can't get a female. And that's one of the main reasons. They can't get a fucking female. So they go and, they either jerk off, or if their mind is perverted enough and they're stupid enough and ignorant enough, they'll go and fucking have sex with an animal. And like I said, to each their own. This video isn't really so much to bash, but more so to bring understanding. You get what I'm saying? I didn't come on live to talk shit about motherfuckers that like to fuck animals. I didn't come here to talk shit about, homosexuality. I didn't come here to talk shit about pedophiles. I came here to bring understanding. That's the only reason I came on this live today, is to bring understanding. You're never gonna see me going on anything, and I hope that I never do. I hope that I never go against my conscience. But you're never gonna see me go anywhere and just talk shit about something or somebody for the simple fact of talking shit about it. No, man. I've never been that kind of person. I'm the kind of person where I like to bring understanding in everywhere I go. I can't bullshit. So, we fast forward, towards, we're gonna go through pedophilia first, because pedophilia or homosexuality has a lot to do with pedophilia. You get what I'm saying? Not all. No, that's stupid. Not all homosexuals are pedophiles, but a great number of them have been affected by this demographic. By the ignorance of man. Shit, it's still going on. I have to sit in front. We're still, they are heavily affected by the ignorance of grown men that lack self-control, that lack self-discipline, that lack self-accountability, that lack, self-love, that lack self-understanding, that lack a moral compass. A lot of these things that we see playing out today, a lot of fucking, it's ignorance. It's just ignorance. Sin is simply that. It's ignorance. That's what sin is. Sin is ignorance. So we have a lot of that. But going back to that, that's something that's always been in the back of my mind. Oh, no, my bad. We're on pedophilia, right? So we're gonna talk about that shit, right? I'd say the closest 17, 16, that's when I started becoming conscious of the fact that, like, I'm getting too old. So when it comes to that, that access comes through the internet, a lot of it, but a lot of it happens in the family, in ignorance, and the only reason I can even speak on whatever the fuck I can speak in regards to this shit, it's just, looking at my own story and how shit has played out. For me, for example, when it comes to this, I started watching porn at 12. So I was a child when I started watching porn. All right, a child watching porn. What do you think a child is gonna look for? You get what I'm saying? So that's how it was for me. And then as I got older, I started realizing that, I started understanding, or I wouldn't find it. So I was like, I grew out of it, but there was a point where I had to think, like, this is not right, and that was around 17. And it's crazy because around the age of 17, I also started dating a 13-year-old, 13 or 14-year-old. And, back then I didn't think much of it. And even today, I'm like, at 18, that I dropped out of high school because of that, because of the fact that I didn't want to be in high school with any more children. And dime a ver. And around 20 years old, that's when I became really conscious, and I was able to understand why at 17 I stopped searching these things on the internet, watching porn from 12 all the way till fucking now still, right? Because we're still dealing with the fucking demons. But at 20, when I was in the military, I had the thought, because I never wasted as much time on the internet, on these pieces of technology as much as I did in the military. While my boy was getting his master's degree, in the 5 years that I was in there, I was wasting my time watching porn, watching mini-series, and literally I could have had a master's in there. But there was a moment when I was in the Marine Corps where I had the thought, and it came up. And as I was writing it, I was like, as I was typing this thing in, I was like, oh shit, just like at 3 years old, this is wrong. You get what I'm saying? Just like at 3 years old, with what I was thinking about doing, now at 20 years old, I was like, oh shit, this is wrong. Searching this kind of stuff is wrong. I'm no longer a child. I'm an adult. I can think and I can reason things out, and I can think long-term consequences of my actions. Like, I don't have to do this. And so, I didn't. And then fast forward today, look at the state that our world is in. Like, that's a lot of people thinking like, and in the Marine Corps, we have a saying, like, or like we always get told, like, when we go on leave, hey, do the right thing even when nobody's watching. Nobody's got to be watching you all the time. And it's crazy because that's like something that you would say to a kid. That's something that I actually say to my nieces and to my nephews. Hey, do the right thing even when nobody's watching. Nobody's got to watch you. Nobody's got to make sure that you're doing the right thing. Okay? Make sure that you are accountable for yourself. Hold yourself accountable. Be master of yourself. And at 20, I made that. I like, my conscience was like, yeah, fam, this is not right, bro. Don't even look that shit up, bro. Just go back to watching some MILFs. Go back to watching some grannies. Go do your thing, bro. And so I did. And so I did. And it would be crazy. I think that's the night I passed out. Drunk as hell. Yeah, it's crazy shit happens in the military. But, and then we fast forward to the last one. Also, in regards to like, I think I'm done with that. Like, yo, what you do in the privacy of your own space matters. That's basically when it comes to pedophilia, yo, to every man out there and to every young man. Because the crazy thing about this video is that a lot of people my age and a little older are like, yo, why the fuck is this guy making these videos? Yo, these videos ain't just for y'all. I got a lot of young followers. I got over 4,200 or 4,300. I don't know how much it is. I have a lot of followers on Instagram, and I have almost 1,000 people that I follow and that follow me here on Facebook. You get what I'm saying? So, and then the account that I'm using right now on Instagram has over 450 followers. So, and as you look at the demographic of your following, because you can do that on Instagram, a lot of them are a lot of them are very older people. They seem to be interested in what I have to say, and also very young. And I also have a large demographic between, the ages 25 and 35 and so on. So, but a lot of them are young. And my nephew follows me. My nephew's 17. My 12-year-old nephew also follows me. No, he's 13. I think he's 13. Oh shit. But you get what I'm saying? My niece, who's also like, 15, 16 years old, from Dominican Republic, also follows me. I got two little young ladies that I'm always around and that I'm always nurturing, and like, tú me entiendes, giving them that energy and letting them know, like, yo, there's a group of people out here that try to make you think that, them liking little kids is okay. All right, be careful with them. And so I understand that this video is not just for y'all. So for the young ones that may watch this video, whenever or wherever you may find this video, be mindful of what you do, even when nobody's watching. You get what I'm saying? Because you know what you're doing, and only you can hold yourself accountable. And if you give yourself too many excuses, if you give yourself too many options, that's just gonna be the detriment for you. You get what I'm saying? Too many fucking options on the menu, it makes you go crazy. You want a bit of everything. Next thing you know, you're overly stuffed, and now you may be throwing up or you having the shits. So be mindful. You get what I'm saying? Don't think that just because nobody's watching you or nobody's holding you accountable, nobody can see what you're doing, that shit doesn't matter. You feel me? That molds your character. And you know, when you end up in these positions of authority, or when you have the opportunity to end up in positions of authority, that makes you a lot more vulnerable to those negative entities, to those people, to those individuals that have given into those ways of being. You get what I'm saying? It makes you more vulnerable to falling prey to whatever demands they may have of you, or to whatever they may offer you. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of people in government, they probably never practiced pedophilia ever in their life, but yet they're fucking 12, 13, 11, 9-year-olds and shit, whatever the fuck they doing, you know, because in the privacy of their own mind, of their own kingdom, they have been allowing themselves to do bullshit, you know, while they're preaching to the masses about, you know, being all high and mighty and good. They got a thong, you know, they got a thong on top of their trousers, on top of their pants, and that's what's jacked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you become a reflection of what you want to see. Like, walk that talk. Like, it's not easy. It's not simple, and we just got to be honest, not just with ourselves, or not just with the world, because sometimes we can tell more to the world than we even say to ourselves. You get what I'm saying? We got to be honest with ourselves as well, in many ways. And that's not easy. That's not simple. It's easy to lie to yourself. So, when it comes to this topic, when it comes to pedophilia, it's very easy. You know, I think I mean, it's like, it's fucking legal to marry a 13-year-old. I think it's in California or Florida. You know what I'm saying? It's legal to marry a 13-year-old in many states. And it's crazy. I mean, they're still a child. I mean, even if they made women, and certain women, just like men, develop a little quicker, that doesn't mean that up here they're fully developed. They're still a child, man. About the brain of a mammal, of the human mammal, isn't fully developed till after the age of 25, and we're still growing and learning. I'm not saying wait till 25, wait till 20, or whatever. I'm just saying 13 is too young, and a lot of the shit that's going on is specifically directed for that age and below. You get what I'm saying? They're trying. I don't know what's up, but a lot of jacked up shit is happening, and being aware of it is very important. And being aware of how, you know, we can end up there is also very important. You know, that is one of the most destructive, if not the most destructive, practice that mankind could ever, you know, entertain. It literally is the most destructive practice, the most devilish, the most down and dirty, the disgusting thing that any human being could ever practice. You know, and it didn't take somebody telling me that. It took me understanding that shit. You know, because I didn't want to become a reflection of that disgustingness that it takes for somebody to know to go down underneath and try to like find stuff on a child. Like, I've been changing diapers since I was 12 years old, and the first diaper that I changed was a little young lady that wasn't even nothing of a relative to me. You know, and I didn't feel. It just felt weird. You know, because you never change a girl's diaper. You barely seen your own dick the right way, and you changing another kid's diaper. So, you know, even though I did it with no disrespect, no malice, no intent or nothing, it's just saying like, we are given the opportunity by God to do right and to do bad at every turn that we get in life. You don't have to see it as God. You can see it as the supreme being, divine providence, the high and almighty Lord above, you know, Christ. But I'm telling you, that that consciousness which allows us to fucking breathe and think and do and believe and worship and give of ourselves to other, this, it gives us the opportunity to do right and to do wrong. And too many times a lot of fucking people choose the easy way out. They choose the easy way out. They choose the simplest fucking answer rather than thinking and meditating and you know, and like, yo, trying to find the right way. No, they choose that they cop out and then they pat themselves on the back for capping out. Like, nah, fuck out of here. So, you know, we're going to the last topic, the one that, you know, a lot of men and a lot of young men are in need, you know. And when it comes to this one, we're gonna hit it like this, yo. Gender manifests in two different ways on the physical plane. You know, there is male and there is female. You know, this is part of the Hermetic, of the 7 Hermetic principles. There's male and there is female. Now, just because you're a male, that doesn't make you a man. You know, just because you're a female, that doesn't make you a female. You must become these things. How do you become these things? By knowing yourself, by obtaining knowledge of yourself, by seeking to understand what is going on within yourself. You know, by seeking to know yourself, to understand yourself, to comprehend yourself, you will obtain wisdom of what it is to be who it is that you are today in this physical vessel that you have manifested in human form to act through. You are a temple for the Most High Lord. You get what I'm saying? Gender manifests on those two in the physical plane, female and male, negative and positive, good and bad, whichever way you want to look at it. You know, too much of a feminine aspect in a male is detrimental to the male, psychologically, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Why? Because you are a male. There needs to be a balance. Too much of a male aspect, and it makes you a misogynist. You know, it makes you negative towards yourself, and it makes you negative towards the society around you. The same thing goes for the female. Too much of a male aspect in the female, and it's going to become a problem for that female. Not just in relationship with other male, with females, but in a relationship with other male. Same thing with the feminine aspect. I'll let a female talk about this, but this is the problem. We don't understand these two planes on the mental. You know, and here's the thing, our brain is divided in two. We have one brain, but it is divided into two hemispheres. The left hemisphere dominates the positive aspect, which is the masculine aspect of man, whereas the right hemisphere dominates the creative aspect. You get what I'm saying? The negative, creative, feminine aspect of self, of nature, of consciousness. This yin and yang energy in one, when balanced, allows us to achieve many beautiful things. But when out of harmony, can lead to many destructive habits and ways of being. When it comes to homosexuality, yo, that, like I said, I can't speak much on it, but what I may think I understand. And for me personally, I grew up being very masculine in the way that I conducted myself, physically, intellectually, and spiritually, because I'm a male. But emotionally, I've always felt like a bitch. I'm sorry to put it like that, but that's how I always felt growing up. You know, I always felt like emasculate, like not masculine, even though I acted and conducted myself and carried myself very feeling wise, emotional wise. This body this emotional memory card that I live in, that myself is in, this emotional memory cards, because this is what it is. These bodies are emotional recorders, okay? They record emotions. The traumas that your mom and that your father dealt with, they are recorded in your DNA, and we transmute them, when we produce the seed, and we place that seed inside the womb of the woman, just like we place a seed in the womb of the earth, and it grows, all right? So we are emotional memory cards. So growing up, I always felt very feminine. Physically wise, my actions, though, how I thought was always in alignment with the masculine. But when I say feminine, I meant like negative. I always felt very negative about myself. I didn't really like myself. I didn't appreciate myself. I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't know how to like the body that I was, the features that I was given. But I was a fucking man's man. I was always doing the most daring shit. You get what I'm saying? As a kid, I was always doing the most daring shit. I was even doing backflips, and I'm scared to do a backflip now. I'm not scared. I haven't tried it, so I don't want to say any more negative words. But, I was doing all these things. I was always very daring, but feeling-wise, emotional-wise, it was always very negative for me. And I never had any negative sexual thoughts. I was always have been, and thanks to God, always will be, attracted to the opposite sex, my feminine counterpart, my females, my women, my mothers, my sisters, tú me entiendes, familia. But when I started going through puberty, or not, like around, I say maybe 18, 19, I don't fucking know, but I would have like fucking crazy thoughts, and I didn't understand them. But thankfully, I never talked to nobody about that shit. I kept that shit to myself. and I understood myself, because motherfuckers wasn't gonna understand me. It was like, oh, nigga, you gay. Nigga, you gay. Fuck it, go fuck a nigga. And that's the type of shit that's going on in our society. People don't fucking understand. They hear some shit and they instantly go off of it. And then the other person also goes off of it. And next thing you know, dude's not even gay, but he go let a nigga fuck him in the ass. Next thing you know, he's got a gun to his fucking head, or he's jumping off a fucking bridge, or he's cutting his fucking wrist, or he just fucking loses himself in that fucking world. And it takes him 15, 20 fucking years for him to be like, oh shit, that wasn't even me. That hasn't been me. That was never me. And then, that time goes by, and maybe they get out of that world. I actually heard my brother was telling me a story like, yeah, nigga, I know some gay dude. He fucking stopped being gay. He started having kids and shit. He was like, oh shit, I was never fucking gay. I was just taking dick up the ass, and I never know that I was not gay. And even though I did that shit for many years, that wasn't me. And now he has fucking kids, he has a wife, and you know what? They probably laugh about that shit. They probably laugh about the fact that, this nigga lived a life that he went into in a fucked up way. Now, this is not a subject to laugh at, but this, some of the things that do happen to us in life are fucking funny. When I woke up and I learned, and I started understanding this, it was, thanks to the shrooms. I'm gonna just be honest. I would not have understanding of myself and of the way that I think if it wasn't for shrooms. You know what I'm saying? Like, my consciousness, obviously, we become conscious, and when we make better decisions, the more better decisions we make, the quicker we become conscious of ourselves. But I just read a fucking comment my cousin posted. But yeah. when it comes to this, yo, men, think before you act. Do not let yourself be guided by everything that's going on in society, because there's a lot of noise. Like, yo, I recently posted a video about, you know, this cuties movies that came out on Netflix. I suggest we cancel all that shit. I haven't been even paying that shit. I gotta cancel my Netflix membership, or, you know, I don't fucking know. But this is what's going on. You know, there's a lot of things. Will and Grace, we've been being contaminated by propaganda and subliminal messages for over 40, 50 years in this country. And, you know, a lot of people are living life that is not their own. All you have to really look is at statistics. You know, men kill themselves at literally at 60% the rate. Like the death rate for men by suicide is 60%. And for men that are homosexual, and that's higher. And it's crazy because men that are homosexual is not even the highest. You know who's higher? Individuals that migrate into the transgender community. Individuals that cut it off. Like men, like it says that the men that whose suicide rate, or males whose suicide rate is the highest, are men who chop off their penis. And it's like, you know, that kind of like, I'm not gonna probably not all of them. You know, there's some people that live a happy life, or that learn to live with themselves after they make those decisions. But then there's other people that don't, and a lot of those, they cut it loose. They cut their life early, and they really never truly live out the life that they most likely came here to live. We came here to be happy, you know, rich and like successful, and to prosper, and to do all these great things. But we let society, we let other people's view, we let our idea of what others may be thinking kind of like misdirect us. You hear what I'm saying? Thankfully, like, I heard one story that my little nephew was, you know, once walking around with a doll, and it was like, and one of the persons was like, "Yeah, what the fuck, you gay or something, walking around with that doll?" And he was like, "Nah, nigga, that's my girlfriend." And it's like, yo, just think about this stuff. You get what I'm saying? Like, we don't know what's going on in these kids' head, yet we start judging, we start assuming, we start making all this fucking shit, and next thing you know, we've destroyed this individual's life because we've manifested something that they've manifested into something that is but a projection of our view of them. And, you know, thank God, thank the Most High in us all, that I never allowed the projections of society cause me to become something that, you know, I wasn't comfortable with, that I didn't love, that I didn't appreciate. And yeah, man, when it comes to that, you know, when it comes to that topic, that's it. You know, I've learned to understand that, you know, mentally, I got a gay ass fucking mindset, but I'm a man's man. You know, I'm a man's man, and I was made to be for a woman, not for the other. And I'm also learning through the mushroom trip that's like, you know, a lot of problem in many men is that, you know, they don't understand their sexuality, especially in this convoluted fucking society that we live in today, because this shit is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It's jacked up to the motherfucking core. And so if you don't understand yourself, if you're lacking understanding of what it is that you are and what you have come here to be, then this shit is gonna get worse. This shit is gonna get scary. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna start doing things that you are not proud of. You're gonna start feeling feelings that you don't want to feel, but which you're not gonna have another option but to feel. And you're also gonna be put in places and situations that do not promote the best in society. You know, and a lot of the people in power today, that's why they're in power. They've most likely haven't done the right thing even when nobody was watching, and eventually they got to the position where now they're introduced to the most disgusting and perverted aspect of man, which is like, you know, child rape, violation, and all that other stuff, and sacrifice. So these two topics, yo, or these three in themselves, they can not so much. I think that kind of it's in its own self. You know, homosexuality. That's its own thing. You know, and the reason I say that is I don't fucking know, man. It's something that though it's been seen, it's not loved. It is, and I'm not saying that it is not loved, not just by me, because I don't entertain in that shit. I don't entertain it, and nor do I condone it, because if I did condone it, I would have allowed my how this emotional body, how this emotional memory card feels, to control my actions. And I guarantee you, I probably would have been the one to shoot my fucking self in the fucking head or jump off a bridge. But I don't see myself ever doing that shit. You get what I'm saying? Why? Because I love this, and I love the things that I am doing with this and with this and with this right here. You get what I'm saying? And though we fall, all we can do is ask for guidance, man. All we can do is ask for guidance to forgive ourselves, because a lot of us can't forgive ourselves, because the shit that we do, we continue to do them. But you have to be able to forgive yourself to move up, the ladder on this spiritual path that is life, because you are nothing but spirit having a human experience. But, depending on the experience that you have in this life, that will dictate how your spirit will transcend after this life. Is your life something that you would want to remember even after you die, or is your life something that you don't even want to remember, like right now, and that's why you're downing pills, or you're downing fucking alcohol, or you're shooting up fucking whatever up your veins, whatever the fuck it is. Like, is the life that you're living right now the life that you would want to be the one that you would want to relive? If you could replay that tape of your life over and over and over again, is this it? You get what I'm saying? And so that's the message. I don't mean no disrespect to anybody that practices that decides to practice homosexuality or bestiality. But if you do choose to practice, pedophilia, the good book has a very good phrase, and I don't know it very well, but it's like, if you touch one of mine, it is best to cut off your own hand, take out your own eye, or just fucking kill yourself than to go meet the Most High. You get what I'm saying? So that's all I got to say. That there is no excuse for acting on any of that. You get what I'm saying? Each and every one of us was a child, and each and every one of us appreciates the adults that were around us that never took advantage of us. You get what I'm saying? I went through foster care at 7, 8 years old. Like, didn't have not as fucked up as some other people do have it, homeless and all this crazy shit. I never had to deal with that, thankfully. But we all experience different things. You know what I'm saying? And thankfully, hopefully I brought some understanding to somebody wherever the fuck you are, at whatever time and place you're watching this video. Because you may watch this shit 10 years from now, and it might bring you some insight. So I appreciate y'all, and y'all have a blessed one. I'm done, man. I hope I've hit anything that I had to hit in any of these topics. But one. Yo, and my boy CL, let me know what you think.